It is a very chaotic Monday morning because I just got out of bed, I'm enjoying my delicious monster, and suddenly huge pieces of news are dropping like crazy. The PlayStation 5 is doing a big firmware update that actually improves accessibility, the streaming features, even stuff like the hard drive is being massively expanded, so I want to talk about that. And I'm going to post another video here in about an hour because the next Nintendo Switch has also just leaked. So let's try and dig into the Sony business first because you guys know I love a good PS5 update. Hope you guys are having a very good week. I know mine has started off surprisingly freaking chaotic. So please, if you could, I'm DreamcastGuy, like this video and subscribe or you suck. Are you ready? Here we go. So here it is, the PS5 software beta firmware update. Essentially, if you opt into being a Sony tester, you get a chance to try stuff out usually about a month or two before it's actually released. And this is a hefty patch. I mean, it's kind of surprising how much they're actually trying to put all together here, but we're going to go through all of it bit by bit. But I want to actually scroll down here to the bottom because the biggest change they've made is one that now I can actually appreciate, which is they're supporting larger M.2 SSDs. Now, this may sound minor, but currently the default storage of a PlayStation 5 is 1 terabyte, which is pretty big. By last gen standards, most PlayStation 4 games were, between 8 gigs and 20 gigs. You could install tons and tons of them very easily. Whereas now that we're in the era of 4K assets and massive maps and games like Grand Theft Auto Online, that takes up literally like 120 gigs. Call of Duty takes up 150 gigs. If you're trying to install something like Final Fantasy XIV, the MMORPG, that can easily be like 250 gigs. My point is that if you actually play current existing big online experiences, those games soak up usually huge chunks of your entire hard drive. So just recently, I actually bought a 1 terabyte expansion SSD. Now, the M.2 drive, if you haven't gotten one yourself, is fantastic. It plugs inside of your PS5. It basically makes it where there's nothing hanging out. It's not like it's going to be dangling its balls off the back of your desk. It's a very quick and easy access. Previously, you could only get up to 4 terabytes. Now you can have 8 terabytes of maximum storage capacity. This is insane. Like, truly, this is great because there has been more talks about the fact that both Xbox and PlayStation are going to start to favor digital-only games more, which I'm not a fan of. Just to make that very clear, I have a big physical PlayStation collection. I'm glad to have a physical PlayStation connection, but I think that if we are going to start pushing into that digital future, I think we're going to start to see video games getting bigger and bigger and bigger from just raw, uncompressed data. I guess once they stop having to worry about discs, I think we're going to start to see more games that are just 50 or 100 gigs by default, even if it's just a normal 20-hour game. But an 8 terabyte SSD should really future-proof you to big updates. I mean, I think I'm definitely going to buy one, but now let's go to the top of these notes and check out everything that's brand new here. New accessibility features. You can now use a second controller for assistance. Now, this is something that people have actually been requesting more than I thought they would, where essentially, if you're trying to play with somebody that has a disability, or maybe if you're playing with like a young kid, it basically lets you connect a second controller, and instead of it being player 2, it's also player 1. Apparently, this is going to be really good because with certain third-party controllers and stuff, you can also even do this for stuff like if you're trying to connect a racing wheel or you're trying to do like a flying game or something like that. You can actually connect and control menus with your normal controller and then have the special controller also be player 1. This is a nice extra update. Use second controller for assistance. This is going to be especially good for people that actually have disabilities that make part of their hands not work as well. I've heard people talk about the fact that they're able to use part of this and part of this. It's nice to be able to, if they want, have 2 separate controllers for full functionality. That's pretty great. Next up, System UI haptic feedback. You now have the option to turn on haptic feedback effects while navigating your PlayStation 5. I don't know why anybody would do this, but it literally makes it where while you're selecting stuff on the menus, the triggers will vibrate. I'm not sure what extra immersive experience you guys are seeking, but I guess if you want that purified menu experience, this would definitely be it. Now, here is the funniest update. It seems normal when you first start reading it. Support by audio Dolby Atmos-enabled. Okay, so basically this just says, hey, if you have fancy headphones, 3D AudioTech stuff, basically more stuff is going to be able to access 3D audio, which if you've tried, PlayStation 5's 3D audio is bonkers. Playing this stuff with like a good expensive pair of headphones, not even Sony brand headphones, just any headphones, it's kind of wild to play a game and hear footsteps off in the distance and stuff. It's crazy how good 3D audio is. But people notice this. You can also, let me scroll down here because it's super funny. You can now turn off the very famous PlayStation beep. Here it is. You are now able to mute the PS5 beep sound. This has been iconic. This was originally introduced back with the PlayStation 3, but you can now choose to make it quieter, you can make it louder in case you're a sociopath who loves that very iconic beep, or you can just straight up mute it. System settings mute. This has been the product of so many memes because everybody's used to the fact that we've had this for, 15 years? I mean, since the introduction of the PlayStation 3, I kind of like the beep. I'm used to it at least. But, of course, there's this. Me, my girlfriend. Me turning on my PlayStation. Beep! My girlfriend. Up, time to get some attention. I mean, there's a lot of crazy memes about the fact that the PlayStation beep, a lot of people like to joke about the fact that you sneak away from your girlfriend or your wife and you try and turn on your PlayStation 5, and as soon as you secretly press that button, beep, and then all of a sudden you're in trouble. So, it's crazy they decided to let you disable that. Okay, next up, there is actually two parts of this that I really wanted to look at because to me they are freaking cool. I play a lot of PlayStation 5 games with my real life friends, and the ability to create parties, add parties, and kick people out of parties has been a little bit weird. Essentially, they've added in a UI update. So now that you can invite people to a closed party without automatically adding them into a group or creating a new group, whenever you make parties, it creates like a basically almost like a save file. So it's like, all right, I'm opening up this file of the social interaction. Like you can see here, it's not just that they're in this party with people. And it's a system that always felt a little bit weird. They're basically streamlining it. They're making it more logical. And it also lets you where if you want here, you can have a group with your friend and a group with all of your friends together. So if you're trying to like jump back and forth with like, say you have a new player and you're trying to explain stuff to them, you'll be able to actually jump back and forth without constantly joining and leaving parties. In a way, you can be in multiple tiny parties at once and then later choose to make one mega party. This is a tiny feature that most people won't use, but I do feel like it's actually really useful and I am definitely happy about it. Now, this is the other part of this that I think is actually really cool. It's the last thing I want to talk about. Join friends game sessions easily. So whenever you're playing stuff on the PlayStation 5, you're staring at your like PlayStation 5 dashboard. It will tell you that other people are playing the game, but joining directly with them has sometimes been a pain in the ass. You can now just directly do it. You can easily see which of your friends are in an activity and join them under the Friends tab. So instead of clicking the game, clicking your friend, clicking join, or clicking request party, now from your Friends tab, it will straight up say, hey, you're playing Diablo, they're playing Diablo, would you like to join them? This is a tiny streamline to me is going to be incredibly useful and I am genuinely thankful for it. This is a dang good patch. I mean, it's not the biggest thing ever. It's not like they're suddenly rolling out 8K or any of the PlayStation 5 Pro features that are rumored. But as it stands, this has a lot of nice social improvements. And of course, now we can finally turn off that beep in case you hate PlayStation. I don't know. I'm joking around. Hope you guys are having a great day. Be sure to watch my other video here. I'm going to make a video right now talking about the Nintendo Switch successor because I'm definitely ready for whatever's coming next from Nintendo while still being hyped as hell about PlayStation. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Oh my God, the beep is dead. We won. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.